Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya How do you spell invocations?
Oh my Lord.
Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet. Who's the names of conquest? To the goddess of learning, and to the curiosity of the author. Nashta Parayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. These classes in the Bhagavatam. Rendering of service to the pure devotee. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Loving service unto the personality of God, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as the irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and the spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. Therefore my respectful obeisance. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. It's nice to be back with you all. Jai. Thank you for this new version. The invocations is misspelled. Okay, so look like we're going to an inn on our vacation. It's a one N, right? Okay, kind of stands out. Okay, and today we're looking at the Srimad Bhagavatam. What shloka is it?
Chapter 10, sorry, chapter 14, verse 42 to 46, and we are focusing on 42.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got to the right chapter. What verses are they?
42.
42. And going till 46. Oh, just four. Four verses. That's all. Well, that's it. Okay, here we go. After granting his son Brahma permission to leave, the Supreme Personality of Godhead took the calves, who were still where they had been a year earlier, and brought them to the riverbank, where he had taken his meal and where his coward boyfriends remained just as before. O king, although the boys had passed an entire year apart from the Lord of their very lives, they had been covered by Lord Krishna's illusory potency, and thus considered that year merely half a moment. What indeed is not forgotten by those whose minds are bewildered by the Lord's illusory potency. By that power of Maya, this entire universe remains in perpetual bewilderment, and in this atmosphere of forgetfulness, no one can understand his own identity. The coward boyfriends said to Lord Krishna, "You have returned so quickly. We have not eaten even one morsel in your absence. Please come here and take your meal without distraction." Then Lord Rishikesh, smiling, finished his lunch in the company of his coward friends, while they were returning from the forest to their homes in Braj. Lord Krishna showed the coward boys the skin of the dead serpent Agasura. Hare Krishna. Jai. Okay, and it is verse number, 42. Okay, here we go. Brahma's prayers to Lord Krishna. Tatonu gyapya bhagavan swabhuvam prag avastitan vatsan pulinam aninye yata purva sakam swakam
ततोनुज्ञाप्य भगवान्
स्वाभुवं प्रागवस्थितान् यथा पूर्वं सखं स्वकम्
purva sakam swakam tatonu bhagavan
स्वाभुवं
Swabhuvam
प्रागवस्थितान्
prag avastitan Sampulan aninye
यथा पूर्वा सखं स्वकं
Yata purva sakam swakam
ततोनुज्ञाप्य भगवान्
Tonudyapya bhagavan Vatsan pulinam aninye
यथा पूर्व सकं स्वकं
Yata purvam sakam swakam Tatonyugyapya bhagavan Swabhuvam prag avastitan Pulinam aninye Sakam swakam tataha. Then anugyapya, giving permission. Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. Swabhuvam, to his own son Brahma. Prak, from before. Avastitan, situated. Vatsan, the calves. Pulinam, to the shore of the river. Aninye, he brought. Yata purva, just as before. Sakam, where the friends were present. Swakam, his own. Translation: after granting his son Brahma permission to leave, the Supreme Personality of Godhead took the calves, who were still where they had been a year earlier, and brought them to the riverbank, where he had been taking his meal, and where his coward boyfriends remained just as before. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Okay. The word swabhuvam, to his own son, indicates that Lord Krishna forgave the offense Brahma had committed and treated him with affection as his son. It is stated in this verse that the original cowherd boyfriends and calves, if it was a cow, it would be okay, there's a distinction, please. Okay. The calves were situated just as before, near the bank of the Yamuna River and in the forest, respectively. Previously, the calves had disappeared within the and Lord had gone to search for them. Not finding them, the Lord had returned to the river.
Dancing.
No,
Marching.
bank.
Bank.
I'm robbing the bank. Didn't get that, did you? River bank to discuss the situation with his coward boyfriends. But they had also disappeared. Now the cows were once again in the forest and the boyfriends once again in the bank of the river, ready to take their
Meals. Food.
yes. According to Srila Sanatan Goswami, the calves and boys remained in the forest and on the river bank, respectively, for 1 full year. Lord Brahma did not actually take them away to another place. By the Lord's omnipotent illusory energy, the gopis and other residents of Vrindavan did not notice the calves and boys, nor did the calves and boys notice the passing of a year's
Time.
or feel any hunger or thirst. Okay. All this was part of the past arranged by the Lord's illusory potency. Energy would be this, okay? Potent, more power. Okay? All right. Lord Brahma thought, I have kept all the boys and calves of Gokula on the bed of my mystic potency, and to this very day they have not risen. A similar number of boys and calves have been playing with Krishna for 1 whole year, yet they are different from the ones illusioned by mystic potency, by my mystic potency. Who are they? Where did they come from? Nothing is invisible to the Supreme Lord. Lord appeared to be searching for the calves and boys only to enact the dramatic past of bewildering Lord Brahma. After Brahma surrendered and offered prayers, Lord returned to the original boys and calves, who appeared exactly as before, although their size had somewhat increased because of 1 year's growth. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, since Lord Krishna was playing exactly like an innocent young cow herd boy in Vrindavan, after four-headed Brahma offered his prayers to the Lord, maintained his role as a young cow herd boy, and thus remained silent before Brahma. Krishna's silence indicates the following thoughts. Where did this four-headed Brahma come from? What is he doing? What are these words he keeps on speaking? I'm busy looking for my calves. I'm just a coward boy, and I do not understand all this. Lord Brahma had considered Lord Krishna an ordinary coward boy and had treated him as such. After accepting Brahma's prayers, Krishna continued to play as the coward boy and thus did not answer the four-headed Brahma. Rather, Krishna was more interested in rejoining his coward boyfriends for the picnic on the bank of the Yamuna River. Thank you. All on one page. Very neat and clear. If we get a little chance, I'll just give it a little rundown of the travels that we did recently. Okay, great. Thank you very much. So we'll go to the verse, text 42. This Yoga Maya, which is discussed in our Vedic literatures, more to do with Canto 10 than anywhere else, is something very interesting for us. It's bewildering. It can be bothering, it can be bewitching. Because it's mystical, it's something out of the ordinary. Like I think we can take note of the last shloka from the Bhagavad Gita. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Yogeshwara refers to the Lord who's the supreme mystic. It's one of his names. And it means that he has the ability and power to pull the wool over our eyes. You've heard that phrase before. Pull the wool over someone's eyes means you can't really see. And so this Yoga Maya is an incredible energy of the Lord. Parasha Shaktira Vividhaiva Shruyate. That means that there's a lot of energies emanating from the Lord. I think you probably know that phrase, right? Parasha Shaktira Vividhaiva Shruyate. Many energies come from the Lord. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says that, chapter 10, that there are many energies coming from him, narrowing it down to matter and spirit, material energy and spiritual energy. But in the middle, there's something else, okay? Yoga Maya also appears sometimes as female, a goddess. Yoga Maya appears as Durga, Subhadra. Yoga Maya appears as sometimes Maha Maya. What's the difference between Yoga Maya and Maha Maya? Well, they both, Maya refers to energy, or like illusion, illusory energy. And there's Annamaya, Pranamaya, Vijnanamaya. You've got that list of Mayas. They're all illusory. And when we're young and we're born, we come out of the womb, we're into Annamaya. We're into that illusion of Anna. Where's food? Well, when a kid goes around, everything's about food. It's about the breast milk from the mother. It's also about, like, kids crawl around, babies crawl around, and they just, anything they put, a piano. They try to swallow everything. It's just, they're into that consciousness. Everything has to come to the mouth. Anna means food, grain, etc. And even though they haven't had their grains yet, right in the beginning, but that's what they relate to. That's the most important thing. When you observe, kittens or cubs or anything like that, they just go to the mother for eating. It's all about crawling to that spot and getting the milk. Which is what mother provides, except for if you're a penguin. Okay? Have you studied the penguins? There's a time when the Matachis go for a retreat in Antarctica. They go for a swim. I guess pregnancy was heavy for them. So then the little chicks, what they do is they go, there's something in the dad, that something in the beak that they puncture, and then they provide milk while the moms are gone. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Okay, so everybody knows about mystical powers, and everyone's enthralled by it. They used to have these circuses and freak shows, That was very, very common especially, I think, the 19th century, 20th, early 20th, and when TV came in, circus was almost gone, finished, But people delight in, magic especially, Houdini's work. And when people ask me in my travels at summertime, what do you think is missing? They ask me, magic show. That's what you're missing. And when we were in Saskatoon in the summer, there was a very nice guy, a couple actually. He does the magic. She supports him, the wife. They're a really nice couple from the local area. And unfortunately, it rained during the magic, and he couldn't, mystically get rid of the clouds. Okay, there are things that bewilder us, like, say, for instance, Maya has a purpose to bewilder us. And Maya has two purposes. You've probably heard about it. It's pulling and throwing. Pulling us down, the jiva soul, into the physical world, And that's Krishna doing it ultimately, because we're doing it. We want it. We were persistent to come here, to experiment, And so, as we know, the big fish says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And the little fish says, "Yes, I want. Can I?" Yeah. Yes, you can. So with reluctance, the yoga Maya comes and pulls the living entity down. And then number 2 covers over the living entity. It's a little bit like snow. It comes down, it gets pulled down because of weight. There's weight, right? It's actually a transformation of rain. And it's amazing, kind of mystical when you see the clouds there in the color of Krishna, blue, gray, and then you can see in the distance where the rain has come down. It's pretty incredible, isn't it? Right? So this is the power of Yoga Maya and Maya in general. I had heard there was one of my friends who lives up in the Collingwood area, and I think most of you know where that is, up by Lake Huron. There was a woman the police found. She was from France, and she was visiting, and she didn't know where she was when they found her. She was just sort of absent-minded. She didn't know who she was. She didn't know her name. She didn't know where she exactly, any details, even how she got there. We call that amnesia, right? Where something strikes you and suddenly you forgot. So it's a kind of a very unnerving experience, wouldn't it be, if you just landed somewhere and you could communicate to some level, but you don't know who you are? Isn't that something? I was traveling also with the bus tour. I was doing that for 10 straight summers in a row. And we'll do it again, starting this year again, restart. And it was Manoram who was running the bus, running the whole program. He and Jayarati, his wife. And he would drive the bus. He would just kind of overwork a bit. And we were in the water. We were in the water in Sabal Beach. Has anybody ever been there? It's like heaven. Heaven. And yet the water is not deep. For those of you who don't know how to swim, you really have to go there. So you go out there for quite a few meters, and it just stays quite low. And it's clean. If you were complaining about snow, that's what it becomes. Those waters in those beaches and those lakes. So stop complaining. And so he was in the water. I remember he was in the water. I was nearby, and he said, "Where am I?" Like he didn't remember the many hours before. He went through some dehydration issue. He had to go to the hospital and everything, But he just didn't remember what he did that whole day. It just went totally blank. So if that gives us some idea of what it means to be under the influence of Yoga Maya, then it gives you a good idea. You're really, let's say, under a spell. So this is the case with all of us. We're under a spell. We think we are whoever we think we are. And it's not who we are. How often is that emphasized? You're not who you think you are. You're not that body. And how many times do we say it and we forget it? All the time. Forget you're not that body. You're a spirit. And what kind of spirit? That's a whole other, situation. We're getting there. We're getting to understand ourselves a little bit more. We're becoming self-realized, getting our real eyes for the first time. We're getting self-actualization. That's what it is. Science of self-realization. That's what the Bhakti Yoga is all about, the science, self-realization, getting back to your true identity and kicking out the identity crisis issues. So anyways, here we have Brahma, who was trying to bewilder, but he became bewildered by the Yoga Maya potency. And sometimes we also reference Arjuna, who was also under a kind of Yoga Maya. Do you know that all the years leading up to the war, Arjuna was totally transfixed He was totally focused. We're going to be at war. We're going to get those rascals. We're going to bring them down. And my big bro, my Yudhishthir, he's going to reign supreme. This was Krishna's wish for this to happen. So as you know, they were in exile for a good number of years. And just right when it came to the point, okay, here it's going to now, finally, we're going, charge, And then Arjuna said, wait a minute. And it really is a device by Krishna. Have you ever seen a good TV show or something and then suddenly station break? Then it gives you a chance to go to the refrigerator and get your favorite snack. Okay, station break. Now that I've got your attention, there's a few things we need to discuss. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We need to discuss. You're not that body, You're an illusion. You're thinking everyone is who they are. I'm eternal, you're eternal, all these other kings are eternal. Just get a few things down. You're an illusion, and you're grieving for what is not worthy of grief, and all that. God, Krishna just kind of grabs, slapping. You're an illusion, and that illusion is Yogamaya. That's why it comes across as kind of human-like, fact that he is stunned. And why should he be? He was trained, his mindset was like a warrior. Focus, get in there, the battle has to go on. And now suddenly, after so many years of experience, suddenly, I didn't think it was going to be like this. And it all began with Krishna's word, behold. In other words, hold the images. Look, you knew who was going to be your allies, but now look at them. In the eyes, look at them straight, look and see who they really are. There's Bhishma, there's Drona, there's Duryodhana, all his brothers, Arjuna's cousins. So it bewildered him completely. But it gave an opportunity for the Bhagavad Gita to be spoken once again, which had been spoken long before to the sun god, Imang Vivasvate Yogam, chapter 4 from Bhagavad Gita. And then for Manu and Ikshvaku, one of my good friends in Florida, his name's Ikshvaku, and he's a real Brahminical, Miami devotee. Nice. Anyways, we all get bewildered, and it happens quite a lot. And what is it that bewilders us? It's not this sort of like a wand, the magician, boom, and then sparkles come out or something like that. It's simply jealousy. It's lust. It's being greedy. Lust. What roles what were you?
Envy.
You were envy. And let's see, who else do we have here that was part of that? Who were you? Slightly mad. Yeah. Who else do we have? Okay. Well, you know the characters. We have lust and anger, greed, madness, envy, and illusion. And these are the things that cause the spell, and blocks the intelligence, the buddhi. And when that happens, we're so removed from reality, from the truth. So that this is why there's a need to, be in Krishna's service. I mean, that's the panacea, that's the cure. Be in Krishna's service, do humble acts. Humility brings about truth, right? And pride brings about the opposite, ajnana, lack of wisdom, right? So from a humble platform, enlightenment comes. The light, the bulb gets, the switch is on. But when we are in some kind of illusion, then it tends to put the lights out. And everybody knows one of the worst things that could happen in the course of the day is when you're maybe going to the washroom and you're struggling and your eyes are half open and all the lights are out, and then you stub your toe. Ow! Has that ever happened before? Stubbing the toe. Oh! And then you might curse. Oh, Krishna. Okay. And the Catholics say, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. For the devotees, it's Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So it's like that. And so it just means you're put into illusions. So just going back to our Leela, our pastime here, it's funny how it plays out. And I've heard many devotees say this is their favorite Krishna pastime. I've heard it from a lot of different people. And I don't know why, it's not mine. But I guess there's something kind of, it's like there's a game here. And I think everybody likes games. Who's playing the game? Number one, Brahma. He's playing some games here. I'm going to play some games with this talkative little boy, Krishna. I'm going to teach him a lesson. But everybody knows Krishna's role in all of this. He's a gamer. He even mentioned something about that, and I can cheat. In the Gita, he says, I can cheat. I'm a trickster. I can trickster you. And so that's exactly what he does with Brahma. Brahma, concealed the boys and the calves. And so Krishna's wondering what's going on for a second. Okay, so then he made a duplicate set. And then Brahma, who thought he was bewildering, became bewildered. I said, hey, what's going on here? Wait a minute. And he saw this set of coward boys, and then he saw another, which one is which? And which was the original batch, and all those kind of things. So, yeah, he was totally thrown off. Now, that's what Maya does. Maya throws us off. Yeah. And it's not that it's bad. Like, a snowstorm came, the Arctic vortex came in, and it kind of bewildered all of us. And, I think storms are okay. They really are, because they do, it's like a change. A change is good. Like, I do travel to Hawaii, and people go there, oh, the weather's so nice. Yeah, but it's the same every day, rainbows, sun, and, the weather is just like, never gets too hot, never too cold. And to me, I just have to have drama, Let's have it, change it up a little bit, make it a little more exciting, And that's why, some of us like the seasons, the colors are, it's all orange and yellow, and then in the fall, and then it becomes all white, and then it becomes, and then all the colors come out, that pastel shades come in the spring, it's all light colors, and then it gets to darker colors in the summer, and even the greens are like a soft green in the spring, and then it turns into a hard green in the middle of summer. It even gets kind of boring after a while. So it's all one blob, one green blob, So I think the best seasons are spring and fall, there's some colorations. That's very beautiful. So if you want to have some excitement, join the spiritual world. And Prabhupada's guru, Bhaktisiddhanta, would also make a remark. Someone asked him, how can you put out a publication like practically every day or so regularly? And he said, well, the spiritual world is full of excitement. There's always something new. There's never a dull moment. And I have to tell you, when I joined the Hare Krishna movement, there never was a dull moment. And like a lot of us were around, we set up things for you, so it could be really nice. But the things we went through, devotees were being kidnapped, we had ghosts in the temple, we were getting in trouble with the police all the time. I got arrested, in the States, so many things. And then some people who joined were also not always there, so. It was so exciting, never a dull moment. Yeah, like that. Even B.B. Govinda Swami, when he was here in the summer, he was talking about he was doing some puja arti to Radha Gopinath, and then there was some naked woman that kind of flew, walked in the temple room. All kinds of interesting things. There's never a dull moment, honestly.
And even sometimes the preparations that came out of the kitchen were, oh, is this a concoction or? Oh, it came out of my fertile brain, So it was, the spiritual world is very exciting. And, it gets even more exciting when the Paramdhamma, the world of magic, the spiritual world, comes down here to this world. And because here we have something they don't have in the spiritual world. Does that make any sense? Well, here we have asuras. Asuras don't exist in the pure world, in the Vaikuntha Dham. Vai means without, kunta, worry. There's no worry there. You don't have to worry about demons. You only worry about them when they're here in this world, And it does make everything kind of exciting. When people are lined up for a play, so, okay, I need some people to play demons. And, everyone goes, I want to be a demon, I want to be a demon. Wouldn't you like to be Narada Muni or say, no, I want to be a demon. I was an avatar last time. I want to be a demon. Just because they stir up things, they get everyone quite excited, There's always a good fight, that goes on. And that's what's special about the spiritual world. Now, we don't have any death situations here. There is no slaughter. There is no witch being killed. There is no big snake coming in. Of course, there's tied into this is Agasur. He follows, or he's just prior to this. But there's no blood here in this pastime, to my recollection, unless if one of the boys was running around and they sort of scratched themselves, the blood came out. But there's no blood in this Leela. So but still it's kind of interesting, on a very subtle level. People got, the word is bamboozled. Bamboozled. And the person who got mostly bamboozled is the one with the 4 heads. And that is Brahma. And he had to learn the lesson. It wasn't the other way around. He had to learn the lesson. So there's, and in the topic of this purport, we do hear something about aspects of time and how the perception is very different for all of us. And I can tell you for a fact, when you get older, time flies by real fast. It goes really fast. And that's why I think older folks really kind of tolerate it. When you're young, there's all this anticipation. What will I be when I grow up? Who will I be with? Who will be my life partner? And where will I live? And how much money will I make? All this, hankering stretches out the time factor. But once it's all been done, then everything speeds up, the time factor speeds up. Is that true for anybody who's been around for a little bit? How about you, Karna Cindy? An old man, but is that true? That when you're young and you're looking forward to this and that, it takes so long. That's why kids, what they do is they're in the back seat. Are we almost there? That's the famous mantra for kids in the back seat. And a dad who's the driver, shut up. So, they're long, I want that ice cream. I want that. So it drags on. So it's very excruciatingly painful, But when you get older, things speed up faster. And thank God it does. So time is a consideration here in this topic with this pastime. A year had passed, and as is pointed out here, everyone grows. So every year I go to Guyana and Trinidad and Suriname, and I see kids. Last year they were like this, now they're a head taller or something. It's like, what did you do? And so that is one of the magical aspects, where things really change in a short amount of time. Yeah, good. So if you like, I'll just give you a little rundown of what I did on the trip recently. So I go every year to the Caribbean, And this time I went to Suriname. Well, no, I went to Trinidad first. And Trinidad is a place where it's tropical and it's hot and it's sweaty, you know. So I'm kind of happy to be back, to be honest with you. And the devotees there are very sweet, they're very nice, and we always go to the beach. There's an amazing beach that we do too. But when you go there, like there's no fun in this material world. They have these sand flies, and they're worse than mosquitoes because when you have a mosquito, it bites and you can do something about it, right? Or you can hear them even. Like Canadian mosquitoes, they make some noise. Is that right? Yeah? I think the ones in Mayapur don't. They're more quiet, you know. They're a little more trained, I guess. But they have these sand flies. You don't even know they're there until after the fact. And then it's like, the next few days, so the Yatra's doing okay. They need to make some improvements, I would say that. Then after that, I went to Suriname, where it's all people who are brown skinned and they speak Dutch. It's this weird situation. And I did start a walk there 4 years ago, so now I'm going to try to complete it next year when I go. So 20 kilometers a day. You have to start early in the morning. We did go, I did start an area where it's very, a lot of residents there, development, you could say. But then now I'm going more into where the anacondas are and the jaguars and parrots of all kinds and sloths. I can't wait to see a sloth. You know what they're like. Yeah. Yeah, they just hang there. And if they cross the road, you have to stop and pull them up, you know, take them to the side. I can't wait to see that. Anyways, we had a lot of success there, and every day we were giving classes as well. But I missed the morning program, sorry now, because that's the time to walk, you know, when it's cool in the atmosphere. And then we do some programs in the evening. And then the last place was Guyana. So I split up the times and for these 3 locations. Guyana is a place where they found oil and gas, and the country's going crazy. It's like a boom town, and it's fast cars, and it's kind of a car culture. It's become that, unfortunately. Guyana used to be, when I go there, it was like India, but behind India. Now it's moving way faster than you can imagine. And it's not very pedestrian friendly. However, the devotees do conduct Padayatra every day. They start at 3:30 in the afternoon, and then they end up at around 8:30 at night. They travel, and devotees are known there as the Haribols, and they make this like burfi, like fudge, and we're known for that fudge. Oh, here comes the devotees, fudge, you know, this kind of stuff. And so every night we'd have a presentation. The devotees are pretty good at doing the kirtan there, bhajans and so on. There's usually a speech, then there's a bhajan, then a speech and a bhajan. Maybe a dance is thrown in there. And so that's how we conduct ourselves. We celebrated our 10th anniversary of the new temple that was built near Georgetown, the main city. We celebrated that on Advaitacharya's appearance. And, you know, I was telling Vishesh that I did something different. Instead of just giving a talk, I just pulled out one of my poems and I said, okay, I'd volunteer some devotees to act it out. And then we just had we had a blast with that. You know, so you get to know the details of the story, you get to enjoy the rhyme and rhythm of the poem, and then everyone gets the chance to, you know, make fools of themselves in a way, you know. And so that was a lot of fun and something different, entertaining. I find that devotees need to laugh. You can't just be serious. You have to have some lightness and brightness in your presentation. Somebody has to do it. That's why the magic, that's why stand-up comedy or something like that should be part of it all. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a little time left. Jai, all glories to Lord Brahma. He's the head of our sampradaya. So, but he makes some boo-boos here and there. And all glories to Lord Krishna and the cowherd boys and the cows and the calves. Did I miss anybody? Yeah, I think we covered them all. And there's the cowherd men and the cowherd women. They're also part of this whole drama. And we know how enthusiastic they became when they met with the expansions of Krishna. Okay, so Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Shriyate, that all energies come from the Lord, and one of his energies is Yogamaya power. Okay, questions? Si, senor.
Maharaj, you mentioned that Maya pulls us down.
That-
Maya pulls us down from in this material world and covers us, so we don't try to go back. But we do realize there is Krishna, there is Golaka and everything, in the system.
Yeah.
But we still remain in this material world. So there is self-realization, but then still we are in this material world. So is it like we are sometimes overpowering Maya, and then again Maya is overpowering us?
Well, you've been sick before, right? What kind of illnesses did you have, if I don't get too personal with you?
Madness.
Madness? Okay. No, but I mean like regular illnesses, maladies.
I once had a jaundice.
Jaundice. Okay. So when you realized you had jaundice, did you do something about it? What did you do?
I took some medicines.
Medicines? Okay. Once you took the medicine, I'm good again? Or did it take some time?
It took some time.
Took some time. You're up, you're down, you're up and down. And so it's just a matter of exercising patience. It takes time for the conditioned soul to get unconditioned. It takes time, it's not going to be abrupt. It won't be a quick fix. Anything that is a quick fix, you have to question it. You have to doubt it. Oh, this is not real. It's not just dealing with a symptom. It's not getting to the root of the cause of the problem. Right, so it just takes time for jaundice. That's the example. Thank you. The acharyas talk about jaundice all the time. They always talk about jaundice, and you picked the right one.
It was very painful.
Oh, it was tough during the process, yeah. That's not very nice. And hence the jiva soul also struggles and suffers a lot, being in separation from Krishna, But we get some alleviation of this pain by just practicing bhakti, and being in the right company. Being in the right company, Yes.
So Maharaj, you were mentioning humility brings about the truth and pride brings about the opposite. And actually me and Ashambro were discussing yesterday while giving any lecture or doing deity worship, let's say, the mode should be of humility. But at the same time, we see that sometimes we have this pride that, okay, yeah, like Prabhupada is here and our acharyas, like, they are super great. And that time you're proud as well. You're not humble, but you're like, okay, yeah, Prabhupada, I belong to Prabhupada. Or this, Mahaprabhu is so merciful. So both of the modes are mentioned by acharyas, that we should be humble as well, but at the same time we should be proud as well. Well,
proud to be a Vaishnava, proud to be a follower of Prabhupada, a follower of Krishna. So that's humility. That's humility. But you can certainly be proud of the fact that, this is my guide, and so I would say it's a little bit more leaning towards humbleness than it is pride. But you can be proud as and Prabhupada did say, be aggressive with when prasadam and business. You wrote that down, did you? A lion, one of my favorite things, bro. A lion on the chase and a lamb at home. So if a lion's out there, you have to be aggressive. Otherwise, you won't eat, you'll starve, right? And then, but when you're, after you had your meal, you just be humble with the kids and the wife. Otherwise, it should go like this, right? So it's, it's a blend of the two. Proud to be a Vaishnav, but what does Vaishnavism really mean? It stands for humility. I am small before the universe, before the creation. I'm small before the creator. I'm small before the creatures. I'm tiny. Good. And somebody else had their hand. Yes, Ron.
Maharaj, you talked about different kind of Maya and Maya, and you were describing some other Mayas too.
Mm.
You know, all the different types of Maya.
Oh, it's in the Bhagavad Gita. You can find Anamaya, Vijnanamaya, Jnanamaya, Vijnanamaya. It's just you can look it up on the Bhagavad Gita, the different levels that are there. And it basically, it's different, they're different mindsets, Like when you're Anamaya, it's the lowest level because just thinking about your tongue. When you get beyond the tongue and you operate more, function more from up here, on the jnana level, that means you're advancing. But just like you note that it's yogis and jnanis, they are also in a kind of illusion. They can be stricken by pride, which is what we were talking about here. So you can look it up and then do a little homework and bring it to us tomorrow. All the different levels. Is that okay? Yeah. Yes.
The Cherokees, they were proud to live and proud to die.
Oh, yeah. So the Cherokees, yeah, I mean, some of our indigenous people in North America, they had pride in their culture. They definitely did some honorable things. They're warrior-like by nature. Yeah. And for sure, Kshatriya type people tend to be proud. Okay.
When you were answering Jiva Prabhu's question, you mentioned that the medicine takes time, so be patient. How can one do that? Sometimes especially you feel a little hopeless also.
Mm-hmm. Well, being patient means to honor time, respect time. Krishna says, I am time. So how do you worship time? By accepting the clock ticking away. The sun's coming up and the sun's coming down, you can't rush it. So it's just cool. Tame your passions. Try to be more passive instead of passionate. So it's just a matter of working with time. That's why I feel sometimes that it's nice to worship the deity, Krishna, and so on like that. But it's also important to worship time. And you know how you do that? Just accept the ticking that goes on. Just accept that it's there and it's going to have its duration, and just try to work with it as opposed to against it. Just embrace it. Embrace the time instead of fight the time. Just like, somebody's in a car and they're going high speed, and be way above the speed limit. And it just means you're not honoring time properly. And there's always disaster from that. There's always disaster. I mean, Yudhishthira, like when Arjuna was prodding him on, okay, let's go, let's fight, let's go. We deserve this hour, this should be our land. And Yudhishthira goes, now is not the time. Just now is not the time. So we learn a lot from Yudhishthira in terms of accepting God as time. And in regards to that, we should always be on time for everything. That's how you worship time, by being on time. try to tell certain communities that. Especially any place where they come from a warm climate, they're never on time. But when you come from those places which are influenced by where they make all the clocks, then they're always on time. We had one GBC chairperson who said, okay, you know how they are, Germans. Okay. You will get what he said. He was saying, you have 10 minutes and be on time. It's very un-German to not be on time. And I think Prabhupada liked that about the British too, that the influence, be on time. That is one way to really honor Krishna. So in our community, if we're always late for all of our programs, it doesn't sit well. It doesn't mean we don't respect God in the form of time. Isn't it? So now it's time to exercise. It's time to exercise. Okay. Well, thank you very much. And just have to make that change.